Traders at UBA expect some buying activities at the bond market going into the rest of this week as system liquidity improves. Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management at UBA, joins me now for more market updates. Chuka, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Before we get into the details of the market transactions we've seen so far, let's take a look at some of the highlights we expect from today. The United States, for example, President Bola Tinubu is expected to ring the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange. We also have had talks with the U.S. Department Secretary of Treasury, also talking about looking to deepen investment ties with Nigeria. Let's talk about how this is exciting the market and the sort of confidence we have at this point in time.
Tinubu has, from day one, indicated that he understands what the problem is, especially as regards the Nigerian economy. Some 2 weeks ago, he was in India, and then he took some business moguls in Nigeria for that visit. And so he has demonstrated that, look, the primary problem of Nigeria is the economy. And so I am not surprised that he's reading the closing bell, because he's trying to hook investors into the Nigerian economy, and to be able to do that, the president has to be physically involved, and I'm highly impressed at the way he has gone about it. On the U.S. Undersecretary of Treasury, Mr. Adeyemo's statement, it shows how important Nigeria-American relation is in terms of, in terms of business, and it has shown also that the Americans are understand that Nigeria is a big market, and they also understand that Nigeria will be a worthy partner in terms of economics growth. And so his visit didn't come to me as a surprise. His visit shows that the Biden administration is taking Nigeria market seriously, and then they look to deepen that relationship.
And talking about market activities now, let's take a look at what has panned out from Monday up until now. We are seeing improved liquidity. This is against the backdrop of the earlier dip we saw at the start of this month. Do you think the market can still sustain this level of liquidity going forward as we're wrapping up September?
Yeah, the system liquidity improved greatly due to some coupon payment that came in, as well as some swap inflows that came into the market. And so this has really improved the trading, especially on the fixed income side. We've seen mixed trading actually. On one hand, we've seen bullish sentiment on the middle and the longer end of the curve, but we also have seen bearish sentiment, especially on the 2027 and then the 2053 bond, which came out at 16.25 at the last auction. Is currently trading around 16 levels. So on the T-bill side, we have seen activity, especially on the last 1 year bill that came out at 12.98, and so that has actually driven the activity in the market. I'm talking about liquidity now, and so if the liquidity continues this way, I think we'll probably be seeing more bullish sentiment, because some of the people who lost at the auction, especially the last week auction, need to reinvest some of this excess liquidity.
But if we're just looking a little into the near term now, we're wrapping up the month of September gradually, although today is the 20th, but let's take a look into the future as well. For the fourth quarter of the year, expected calendar as well, how do you see things panning out with auctions coming to bear and the attraction this might also pull in terms of investment play?
Yeah, let me take the bond first. The bond calendar for the last quarter isn't out yet. But I believe that there won't be much changes from what we currently have. I believe that the last quarter of every year is more of a stock-taking quarter, and so we might see a bit slow towards the end. We might see the trading, gets a bit slower towards the end, especially towards the end of November. However, due to the fact that the government obviously needs to borrow, to be able to execute some of their policies, we'll probably see a higher yield if they need to, to make the yield attractive for investors.
And talking about how things are also panning out, let's shift focus a little bit to the currency and forex market now. For so many people, the widening spread between the I and E window, which I know you're comfortable talking about, versus what plays out in the parallel market remains a big concern. News just reaching us is that we are seeing the Naira trade at about 980 Naira to the greenback this afternoon now. In terms of the build-up to conversation points for the next MPC meeting, how do you see us managing things, and in terms of rate hikes, your forecast and market response to this?
I think that the next MPC meeting will still be chaired by the acting CBN governor, and I don't think that there will be more changes. If at all, there probably may be around a 25 basis point movement in the MPR, and so I don't think that the current CBN leadership stands we really want to do anything that will rock the boat, so to say. And so I believe that the government is gradually beginning to kickstart. The Minister for Finance and Economy has actually outlined some of the policies. And okay, I should think that we should just wait for the upcoming CBN board, I mean, governor and executive, to let us into their policies, and then that will probably give us a clear cut what the economic direction in terms of monetary policy will be going into the last months of the year.
But for you, do you think we have any chance of closing this widening spread?
Yeah, on the, sorry, I didn't answer that. On the spread, Naira is currently trading at 776.6 levels. The spread between the I and E window and then the parallel market, I think we continue as long as we have huge demand and with little supply. Don't forget that the government is benchmarked based on the I and E, and so activity there is regulated, but activity on the parallel market is not so regulated. So I do not see any convergence as it stands for now. If probably there are further policies, which I believe that the incoming CBN governor will probably look at, and then that will help us.
Well, the reality remains the bulk of Nigerians actually have to go to the parallel market just because of this demand and supply forces here. But we'll leave the conversation here for now. Chuka, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. That was Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management at UBA. But